Hey everybody, coming on live. See who all gonna come in. I don't care if it's just one, honey. If it's one, I'm gonna start. But I can go ahead and get started. So tonight, I am going to be talking about healing through shadow work. And I hope you guys can hear me. I got my little Pandora in the background. But let me give you some background as to how I came up with this topic tonight. So early this morning, had a bad dream. Woke up, tried to go back to sleep, but I ended up waking up out of my sleep about 4:49 this morning. And so sometimes I wake up out of my sleep like at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning and I can't go back to sleep. So, being that everything happens for a reason, I did some research to see, what is the spiritual meaning behind waking up, early in the morning or at a specific period in the morning. And what I found was the spiritual meaning is, your spirit, your guides are trying to convey a message to you. So a couple of methods, a couple of pointers that they said to do to understand what that message is to meditate or just simply ask, what message are you trying to convey? And then when you ask, have a paper and pen by so that you can write it down. So I wrote everything that popped up in my mind down, and that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. So we're going to talk about, as I said, healing through shadow work. Shadow work. What is that? Let's first talk about the literal sense of shadow. We all have a shadow. So I'm sitting here right now. Any inanimate object has a shadow. As long as you are in light, you will have a shadow because your body, blocks the light and causes you to have a shadow. And the shadow is just simply a dark figure of yourself when you're in the light. So take that in the spiritual sense. Your shadow in the spiritual sense is simply the dark parts of yourself that are maybe pushed down in your subconscious mind, or they may not, or they pop up from time to time. And when I say dark side, it's not always evil or menacing or things like that, but just things that, we might not, behaviors that we're not so proud of. So shadow work, dealing with the shadow work, understanding where those behaviors come from, understanding what the triggers are, and then understanding, what caused, those traumas, and getting down to the root cause and healing those. So everyone, I'm going to be reading notes, so if you see me looking down, oh my dog. So we all have a light and we all have a dark side. So the key is understanding that and embracing that, because your light, your dark is just as much a part of you as the light is. So you have to accept and love your shadow side first of all, because it's a part of you. It made you who you are. It makes you who you are. It's a part of your makeup. It's a part of your who you are. I watched. I think I watched. Her name is Brene Brown, where she talked about shadow work, and that's where I first heard the concept. I think it was like a couple of years ago, where she talked about shadow work and embracing your shadow is the key to healing. So, and also, healing the broken parts of yourself. And so I wrote down some steps that you can take to work towards your healing. So the first one is to love yourself. Love your whole self. Love the parts of you that you're not as proud of. Love the parts of you that no one sees. Love your whole self. Make peace with your trauma. Make peace with the events. Make peace with the person who did the trauma. And making peace is simply forgiving. Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness frees you. Forgiveness, when you don't forgive somebody and you're holding grudges, it's like a weight, and it's like a cancer that eats at you. So you need forgiveness so you can be free. That don't mean you forget. That don't mean you got to be friends with, or that don't mean you got to put yourself in that person's presence or whatever. But it just simply means that what somebody else did does not control or impact my life or your life. Then, when you make peace with your traumas, allow your heart to break. So one of my favorite people in the world is Iyanla. And I always watch her show, and one thing that she always says is, honey, you just gotta let your heart break. Gotta let your heart break. That means you just gotta, whatever issue or trauma that you have suffered, or whatever hang up a thing, whatever you're trying to work through, you have to process those emotions, and you have to go through, and you have to feel it. And that's the uncomfortable part of shadow work, because when you are dealing with the shadow work, you're having to unearth a lot of things that you have buried. And we don't want to do that, because we don't want to feel it. We just want to move on. But like I said last week, it pops up anyway. So if it's popping up, it's an issue. So if you're triggered, it's an issue. So if you are, having a confrontation with somebody, or you see somebody and you like, I just don't like you, or you just ain't getting along with them. Okay, that might be something in you that you see in that person. There's something that's reflecting, that's going on inside of you. So, whenever we, ask God to help us to work through stuff, it comes up. Like if you're saying, hey, I need to be more patient, then you're going to be faced with some issues where you got to be patient. So the only way to deal with it, and to work through, and to process, and to become stronger, is to exercise that muscle. So that's what we have to do. So once you start processing those emotions, then you want to write them down. Write them down. Write a letter to, whoever that has caused you pain, or that you got issue with, or just whatever, and just sit with yourself, meditate, and whatever comes up or whatever comes to mind, write it down and get it out. I mean, even if you got to go outside, go to yourself, talk about it, get it out, because it's like when you have emotions that is buried and deep in your subconscious, it's like I said, it's like cancer. It's like a stressor, and that causes health issues. That causes emotional issues. That causes you to trigger or pop off real quick. That's what's going on. So get those out. Speak it. Write it out. And then a good way to help you to get those emotions out is ground yourself. I always talk about that. Ground yourself. Get to the earth. Put your feet on the ground. Sit on the ground. And just let issues come up. And then as they come up, you write them down. Once you have your list written down, burn it. burn it, bury it, or stamp it and don't mail it, or but return it back to the universe. And then once you return it back to the universe, live your life, let it go. Healing is a journey. It's not an overnight process. This process that I'm talking about is not an overnight process. It's levels, it's steps, it's a journey. You might feel like you're going good, and then something happens, you'll feel like you knock back down, or you knock back a couple of steps, or you just forgot everything that you just learned, or that you just worked to try to overcome. But all of that is a part of the process. Everything happens for a reason. Everything is a cycle. So everything is as it should be. So then you can take it easy on yourself. You don't have to be so hard on yourself, because everything happens for a reason, and it's the way it's supposed to be anyway. And so in doing all of this, I talked about the importance of connecting with your spiritual team. So, of course, our spiritual team consists of God, the Source, Most High, the Creator. Of course, our spiritual team consists of Him. But we also have angels. We also have spiritual guides. We also have our ancestors that are here, and deities that are assigned to us to help us, to guide us through our life journey. So connect with those through meditation. Connect with yourself. Just sit with yourself, meditate. I remember watching Oprah one time when she was talking about how she, someone asked her, how she's able to make such decisions as far as her career and as far as her different job ventures. And she was saying that each time that she's had to make a major decision, she is just kind of took time to be by herself, to be still, and just sit and listen, and so she can hear what her next move is supposed to be. And all that is meditating, being still, and listening, and knowing, and listening to your intuition, and listening to that still voice that's telling you, do this. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. So you just listen to your inner voice. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your angel guides. Listen to your spiritual guides. Listen to God. Listen to the orders, the steps, the moves that you're supposed to make. That's the key. Like, the key to healing is just spending time with yourself, so that you can stay level, so you can stay open to hear, what your next move is, or how you're supposed to be used. Because that's what it's all about. How can I be used? How can I be a vessel? What can I do to help somebody? What can I do to encourage somebody? What can I do to inspire somebody? And in helping other people, that's when you begin to heal yourself. So as you heal others. So connecting to doing the dirty work, getting to the root issues. Healing is about getting your hands dirty. It's about going and digging up some roots that's been in the ground deep. Digging them up, right? Acknowledging them, accepting them, then processing the emotions, then writing down your emotions, and then burning those things up and letting them go. Return them back to the universe, and then live your life like it's your last day. Live your life and love on your family. So I just wanted to come on here real quick because, hey, I got this message at 4:49 this morning, and I had to give it to you. And the second thing about connecting, when I was saying about connecting to your spiritual team, some steps to connecting to your spiritual team: meditate, read, research, make a list of things that you love the most, that connects you to nature, because there are different types of guides that's assigned to your team. You have angels, you have spirit guides, you have deities, which are just gods and goddesses. You have master teachers, you have your ancestors, and of course you have the creator, Lord God Almighty. So just be open, be aware of what's going on, because a lot of time, seeds will be dropped. Like for me, I heard the term spiritual team probably in the last month or so. So I heard that, and then after I heard it that one time, it's like, then I started noticing, I started hearing it more often. I was like, okay, well, let me kind of understand more about what a spiritual team is and what it consists of, and what do they do and how can they help us. So just be aware of what's going on, be aware of your own intuition, and just be open. So I hope this helps somebody, because as I heal, we heal. All right, so you guys have a great night. Bye.